laptop? You want to play? Yes or no?
Abadi. You can do it, Abadi. Slowly.
Now, with the year-end holidays coming up as well, are these breaks usually a more vulnerable time for children in troubled homes? And what can the rest of us do when it comes to keeping these children safe, especially during this period?
I think we must first recognize, right, that the school holidays also remove a key safety buffer, which is actually teachers and peers who might notice concerns. So, again, more time at home can mean longer exposure to conflict or neglect without interruption. So the public can help by staying attentive, check in on families, don't ignore signs of distress, and try to report concerns earlier if possible. Community spaces, for example, and programs offering safe activities can be a lifeline for vulnerable children if they are aware as well.
Now, Dr. E, we heard earlier that the reports of spousal abuse, that's also up. And it's mentioned that these are mostly self-referrals, especially due to greater awareness. Now, this is quite encouraging because it shows that more women are speaking up. But does this also indicate that education and campaigns that have worked and that more can actually be done?
Yeah, certainly. I mean, if we think about it, chronic exposure changes how the brain wires us for trust, safety, and emotional regulation. Well, kids may learn that love comes with fear, or that harm is normal. It's not shaping our future relationships. So it can lead to hypervigilance, withdrawal, aggression, or difficulties with concentration and learning. So what we can do is, early intervention. Okay, it builds community awareness. We can take action earlier, rebuilding safety, restoring attachment, and reduce lifelong consequences like our subsequent learned relationship patterns.
Now, in these cases of spousal abuse, we know that most of the aggressors are men with addiction issues or any underlying mental health challenges. What more can be done to reach out to this group, not just the victims, but also the aggressors themselves, to provide more help?
I think in a general way, the way in which we approach practice would be to create awareness. And sometimes the way forward is not to go with judgment and a critical kind of view. It might be about helping them understand what affected them in the first place that might underlie their behaviors. So that might be a more gentler, more welcoming approach to individuals that might be the offenders.
Let's turn now to the elderly. We know that Tier 1 elder abuse cases, that's going up. So why should we be worried about this rise, even if all these cases are considered quite low risk?
So, according to the definition, right, Tier 1 doesn't mean not harmful. It often reflects early warning signs of stress, neglect, or poor coping. So if we ignore, then these cases can actually escalate into more severe harm over time, as we would see with many examples of offenders getting more and more and more. So they signal pressure on caregivers and gaps in emotional or practical support for families. So action at Tier 1 is prevention, and we know that the best chance to stop further deterioration is here.
Now, before we go, Dr. E, what more can each of us